Thank you.
What is your educational background?
So I've done my BA in English Literature from Hindu College, and I've done advertising and marketing at AIAS in Mumbai, and Masters in Media and Communication Studies at University of London.
Okay. You belong to Himachal?
Yes, sir.
You belong to Himachal?
Yes, sir.
Which district of Himachal?
So Shimla district, I'm from Road.
Right. What are the main mineral resources of Himachal?
So main mineral resources are limestone, and we are also the only producer of rock salt.
That's right.
Yes, sir. And so that's all I can recall right now.
And which are the major crops?
So in horticulture we have apple, and
That is the apple state of India.
yes. So and in agriculture we also produce maize and rice, and that's all I can think of.
And which is the major sources of revenue of the state?
Source of livelihood. So agriculture is a major source of livelihood. So I think about 60% of the population is engaged in agriculture.
More than that, it is about 70%. 71 to be exact. How the Indian president is elected?
So the Indian president is elected by the elected members of the Legislative Assembly as well as the two houses of the Parliament.
That's right. And what is the method that is called? In case in the election he falls short of majority,
Yes, sir.
then there is a recount of
Preferential.
second preference votes,
Yes, sir. The preferential system voting.
proportional representation.
Yes, sorry, cannot recall.
And how the vice president is elected?
So the vice president is elected by the members of the two houses of Parliament.
Which section defines the procedure of amending the constitution? And what is that?
So the amending the constitution.
It is section 368.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
The Article 360.
368. Is it a flexible constitution or a rigid constitution?
So in some matters we are rigid and in some matters we are flexible.
It is both.
Yes, sir.
It is a blend of both.
Yes, it's a blend of both.
What is ancient history, what is medieval history, and what is modern history?
Yes, sir. So ancient history is pertaining to so in context of India, or
It is everywhere. 1000 AD se pehle ka it is.
okay, 1000 before 1000 AD is.
Can you name some outstanding rulers of India in the ancient period?
So can you please, actually sir, I have this tinnitus problem.
Can you tell the panel some eminent rulers of India in
From
the
the
ancient
ancient-
period?
Yes, sir, the Maurya dynasty.
Ashoka,
Yes, sir, Ashoka, and
Guptas,
the Guptas, and from the south.
and there was one ruler who conquered some parts of China.
Kanishka.
Kanishka.
Yes.
You are right. It was Kanishka.
Kushan dynasty.
Kushan dynasty. That's true. And who are the what this period is called? 12,000 to you can say 17,000.
100. 1200 to 1600.
1200 to 1600. It's a medieval period.
Sultanate period.
The medieval period.
This is Sultanate period.
The
Balban
Delhi-
Alauddin Khilji,
Yes, sir, the Delhi Sultan.
Muhammad Tughlaq,
Yes, sir.
and Lodhis.
Yes.
They were the major dynasties. And you were in the process of telling some South Indian dynasties.
So I was talking about the Satavahanas and the Cholas,
Chola, Chalukyas, Palwas, Rashtrakutas.
the Rashtrakutas, who followed the Guptas.
Yes. That's
Now, taking you to your forte of advertising and marketing.
That's it.
I did something from London, University of London, SOAS. What is the full form?
That's a School of Oriental and African Studies.
Okay, you have done something about global media and communication.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, Priya, what's the difference between the advertising which is done at the global level and what we do here in India? What's so specific about Indian advertising?
So in India, I think because I'm not aware of what happens at the global level, so I can talk about the Indian
Because
context.
you studied global media, right? I believe.
So because
global media and
I
communication.
studied global media, but that wasn't advertising. That was
Acha.
specific. That was developmental communication in the
Developmental
global south. So
Okay.
Africa and Asia. So that's why I went to School of Oriental and African Studies because I wanted to come back and work in India. So it was talking about media and communication in development.
So as a consumer also, as a potential creator of advertising, because you are a graduate in
Yes.
advertising. So what do you think was so specific about Indian media, or to be specific about advertising? What is the hallmark, or what is special?
About Indian advertising.
Yeah. Is it more to do with the feelings than with
The finding the emotional connect with the audience.
Hmm.
And I think because in India most social activities are between, like, we don't do it individually, we always do it in groups. So I think in advertising, whenever we thought of campaigns, we always targeted it at, like, as a social activity. Like if you're drinking tea, we'll always show 2 cups, not 1 cup. So I think, so you're right, it was finding that emotional connect to connect with the audience.
See, we had seen a beautiful turning point in the advertising history of India with regard to branding of a state. Normally we have been branding India already, but before India was branded, a state was branded. Which state it was?
Madhya Pradesh.
Before that, which was really a huge international success also.
In terms of tourism.
Amitabh Kant was now is in Niti Aayog now. He was,
Kerala and
yes, God's own country.
God's own country.
And then he shifted to Atulya Bharat in that incredible India. Do you think a similar campaign is required for Himachal also?
Yes, we require that in tourism in Himachal because there is a communication gap and marketing and advertising gap in Himachal. Like Himachal has a lot to offer, but we're not able to package ourselves well. So in that terms, I think Himachal needs to do something about the marketing and the branding of the state.
Okay, tomorrow you join the Tourism Development Board.
Yes, sir.
So what you have in mind to how to create some new brand touch points and some new advertising avenues? What goes in your mind?
So if I think about Himachal, I think about the natural beauty and the biodiversity and also the cultural heritage that Himachal has to offer. So because the rest of the world and even India, the target, like the urban audience, like the people we are going to target, they want to like come and explore those parts of Himachal, like the rural tourism or the biodiversity and the wildlife. So I think I will focus on branding Himachal as like an unseen destination of this pristine beauty which you can come and explore, and also be in touch with your heritage, like your the cultural roots within Himachal, which are very strong, like in terms of spiritual tourism and village tourism, orchard tourism. So I'll be looking at those segments.
See, few elements and dimensions have not been taken care of with regard to promoting tourism in Himachal. See, if I say that, just to give it
Yes,
one
sir.
point, is the last mile approach, last mile connectivity
Yes,
is
sir.
not taken
The
care of.
infrastructure.
Lot of rush and stand people in the Shimla and Manali, the traffic is
Yes.
stranded. There's no parking spaces.
Yes.
So I want to really know from the your understanding of the space of advertising, space of tourism in Himachal, what are those areas of irritants which needs to be removed to go in for a smooth flow of tourists?
Yes, sir. So I think first thing is infrastructure, the connectivity and providing basic amenities, and also like looking at unexplored places like Himachal and Manali, like you said, they've already reached their carrying capacity. So I think we should be looking at new places like the unexplored places. That Himachal government has taken out a new program, Nai Rahe Nai Manzile, where they want to develop new destinations. One of them is in like close to Roru where I live. It's called Janshal, where they've given like 10 crores to develop it as a skiing destination. So I think we need to look at newer places as well, and again providing the base, like going back and providing the basic amenities first, doing the groundwork first, and then like inviting people in.
Don't you think it's self-defeating also? At one time, one aspect we want to ensure the pristine beauty and virginity of the wilderness to be taken care of,
Yes.
and on the other side we are inviting tourism. Do you think they need to be
There
well
needs to be
aligned?
synergy between the two. So that's why now the focus is on sustainable tourism, sustainable development, and there are new avenues to explore like eco villages that Himachal is also thinking about, and orchard tourism. So and they have this other scheme where they don't want to like change anything about the village. They want you to have traditional houses and just provide the basic amenities which are expected inside a house, and the tourists can come and stay with you inside your house, know about your culture, your tradition, your food, and also take part in the rural life. So I think Himachal is trying to find the balance between the two.
Earlier, the advertising and all media used to be very, very general and generic. It was just for all. Now it has to be a very directed, as if it's in selling it's only a direct face-to-face.
Yes,
So same thing is with the case of the social media.
yes, sir.
It's an absolute direct face-to-face approach. Do you agree?
Yes, sir. So I agree because now it's like earlier there was social media has been a big disruptor in media and communication, because now it's not about getting a brand ambassador to do like to promote a project for you, which is also required because to reach the masses, but like you said, to reach like a specific audience. Suppose the Instagram generation, you have someone called a social influencer. So if you want some product you want to popularize between a certain age group, you get that person to talk about it, and that is becoming like, that is something totally different from what used to happen earlier. Like anyone can become a celebrity now, at least on social media.
So you use the word disruption. Is it a fad or a buzzword only, or it's really a kind of considered as a driver
So
of innovation?
I think it is a driver because in my time we didn't have mobile phones in school, but now even children like who go to like who in class 4 or 5, everyone has mobiles, everyone has access to social media. So everyone is getting targeted somewhere or the other. So I think it is a disruptor because now you can choose what you want.
And just underscore the role of experience in advertising.
So mine?
Yeah, experience. The role of experience. Experience is a not just it's really how the brand experience I'm
Yes,
talking
sir.
about. What is the role of brand experience in advertising? And what I'm all saying is in the context of Himachal, in the case of specifically tourism.
Okay.
Do you think that we are taking care of the experiences?
Himachal.
Yeah.
So we have recently launched an ad campaign. We're talking about Unforgettable Himachal. But I think there is scope for improvement. We need to do more. Like how the Chief Minister is doing it for promoting, inviting investors into the country to, into the state to like invest in the industrial sector. I think the same way Himachal needs to do like more like road shows in India and abroad to create that experience. And social media also, like there are social influencers, so you can actually invite someone like someone who's known for adventure tourism or wildlife photography. You can invite these people to come to Himachal, and they can become like a platform to reach the millennials, or like the young people, like how these corporate sector, they send people out for offsites. So instead of sending them to Thailand or some other country abroad, they can send them to Himachal, because we also have a lot to offer.
Do you think that CSR has been adequately harnessed in promoting tourism in Himachal?
I don't think so, sir.
Priya, what is Papar Valley famous for?
So Papar Valley is famous for, the river is famous for trout fishing, rainbow
No,
trout.
talking about the river valley. The valley,
The apple farming.
the place you hail from.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What are the agricultural practices which are followed in Himachal?
So agricultural practices in the entire state.
Yeah.
Okay. So mostly it's like fertilizer intensive.
I will just explain it with them. Say step farming.
Okay. Terrace farming.
Yeah.
And-
Can you name a couple others?
So I'm only familiar with terrace farming.
Okay, you belong to Shimla district, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Shimla has been chosen as a smart city also.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you see the challenges for implementation of this scheme?
So ma'am, in Shimla, because Shimla is a historic city, so it's been in existence for quite some time. And if we want to make it a smart city, there are because scientific planning has already happened there. So, and also it's a Amrut city. So I think first we need to work on retrofitting the city, and then only we can talk about smart city. The traffic management, water security, and illegal construction as well, and maintaining the forest cover. So I think if once these things are taken care of, I think then we can move to the next step of smart city.
Priya, there's been your study pattern has been checkered, so to say,
Yes.
because you did English literature from Delhi University, then you moved into advertising, and then you went into global media communication. That I guess is somewhere related to advertisement, is it? Is it related to that?
No, sir. It was when I applied, they had this option where I got a diversity. Like I could do documentary filmmaking, I could do global media, like development communication studies. So that's why I chose this because I wanted to go into development communication
So
from advertising.
after your graduation, that
Yes,
is
sir.
from Hindu College, what was your line at that time? What did you think at that stage that you would do?
So during college, I had this opportunity to do 2 internships. One was at NDTV and another was at an advertising and PR agency.
Okay.
So during that experience, I realized that I had an interest in advertising. So that's why, but I didn't know much about it. So I went in for a academic.
For how many
program.
years did you remain connected with advertising?
So 1 year.
1 year. only.
Yes, sir.
Then you switched over to?
No, I didn't switch over. I just wanted to go for further studies, but I wanted to get that 1 year experience as well. So after knowing that, okay, this is what advertising is, because there was a production department, there was post production, there was creative.
And then you went to England for
Yes.
1 year course. That was for what reason? Why did you choose to go there?
So because I always wanted to go out in the world and experience more, and I thought that in these foreign universities, they give you the space to explore your need for creative expression. So it suited my sensibilities.
So once you landed up there, did you find some kind of a difficulty in adjusting to their culture, their way of life?
Surprisingly, so I didn't, because there were people from different backgrounds.
Mhm.
So it was like all of us together.
You stayed in a hostel of the university?
Yes, sir.
You stayed in the hostel of the
Yes,
university. And when did you return from there?
So I returned in 2013.
Okay. And
Yes.
after that?
So I unfortunately met with an accident. So I was, it took me about 2.5 years to recover. So after that, I
When
switched
did
to-
your focus shift to this civil services
So I was always interested in the services, but it just when at 21 I had to make a choice. I just thought that I have this creative bent of mind, so let me explore this side of myself. And
After having done so many diverse things.
no,
then
sir,
some-
it was all the same. It was all the same. It was always media and communication.
You wrote creative writing as one of your hobbies.
Yes.
What exactly do you mean by creative writing?
Writing poetry, writing prose, sometimes writing scripts for short films.
So what kind of effect does it? Does it give you any kind of cathartic also?
Yes, sir, it does. Like writing poetry does.
Poetry. So what subject do you generally write on?
So nature and everyday life.
Do you share it with somebody, some platform?
No, sir.
Keep it to yourself? So do you think this creative writing is a media to take out your pent-up feelings?
Yes.
So what are the pent-up feelings you would like to take out
In my writing or generally?
in your writing?
Just understanding life. I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional for the
Why?
accident when I talk, so I get a little.
Accident, okay, let's talk about that. What happened?
So
She
give me two
gets very,
minutes.
she gets very disturbed.
Okay, we'll leave it. We leave it all together then.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry at all, don't worry at all. You're doing excellently well.
You have come out.
Come out of it,
Excellent.
because eventually this topic will be brought up there,
Hmm?
and we'll not want you to get suffered.
Yes. But you have to,
No, you are a very
prepare
strong
yourself for
brain
this.
girl.
You have to prepare yourself for this also.
I just find it very
As
difficult.
of now, we will not talk about it, but since it has come out, now you should know that how to, prepare yourself for this as well. Okay?
So then I find it difficult to answer all the questions. Like I just blank out. I can't answer.
We don't
all the
want
questions.
you to do that, because we do not want that accident to affect your life
Yes.
more.
You've done very well.
You've done very well.
That's a point which I wish to make. Until we refer to it, you were doing wonders.
That's the problem, sir. If this question comes in the beginning,
No.
after that I'm not able to. Nothing makes.
Totally blacken your
You are full
out.
of confidence.
Filter it out.
Yes, sir.
It's a filter. No, nothing about accident.
Either talk about it or don't talk about it.
So, but it always comes up from somewhere. Like.
Since it is at the back of the mind, you said accident, I didn't ask you at all. But I did ask you about your pent-up feelings, then it,
Yes.
started hurting you again.
Yes.
That's the time. So you be, on guard, you prepare yourself with this. Okay, if eventually this kind of question comes up, then how I'm going to tackle this and still maintain my composure.
Yes, sir.
You see?
So is there a way that I can not bring it up with me? Because I don't
At times it doesn't.
This can be taken up.
It
This
is
can
not
be
in
taken
your
up.
hands.
This has to be.
At times it
He
is
needs
not
to
in your
talk
hands.
it out for 2 hours.
So better to counter it within yourself.
एक सेशन करा लीजिएगा बाद में
We'll handle it.
एक सेशन करा लीजिएगा बाद में
Hmm.
let her
Okay,
speak
all
out
the best to you. All the
Sir,
best. You have done very
the
well.
word catharsis
Hmm.
catharsis
Okay,
करने की
catharsis
जरूरत
ही क्यों है, sir? It has been suppressed.
I know,
deep
I
into
know.
our
We
mind.
will tackle that.
Yeah.
So because after that I didn't really get a break, I started just doing things just to keep myself.
And when is the interview, please?
So on the first day, 5th of March.
You have time and you have very good knowledge and you are well prepared for it. Wish you best of luck.
one of the
Thank
brightest candidates
You're good, Priya. You're really good.
brightest candidates
Don't allow this to come in your way. Okay?
Kushan period, you remember Kushan period also, Kanishka?
I really like Kanishka. So.
Yes. AD में 123.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
all the
Thank
best
you.
You did very well. बहुत अच्छा
Yeah,
किया.
yeah.
Good.
Take